What do you get if you take the God's Hammer? Pick a very bad ascendancy. Well, not that bad. Add broken poison mechanics and everyone's favorite cast on crit. And on top of that, you're going to the solo self-found league. Frankly, I don't know what will happen, but I'm sure it will be an exciting journey. Since cast on crit is completely unsuitable for campaign playthrough, I decided to try poison concoction, especially after the developers nerfed this skill. And honestly, it is still one of the best skills for leveling. It certainly got worse, but nothing particularly critical, so if you want to try this build, I recommend using poison concoction for a quick and smooth campaign. Well, the demo version of the game is done, and that means I can finally play Path of Exile. But before I start gathering gear and showing the build, I will need a level 80 character at least. In theory, it is possible to make respects and cast on crit immediately after the axe. But I decided to keep using poison concoction in maps. Well, just because it is much easier and faster. So let's change our gear to a more suitable one. Nothing super rare, just items with life, resistance, and spell suppression. And let's go for the experience. Poison concoction is a pretty nice skill for fast mapping, especially when combined with Plague Bearer and Shield Charge. So I leveled up my character really fast. Wow, another good Venter's Gamble. The game clearly wants me to make another Magic Find character. Nice try. But no, I have another plan in mind. Finally, all preparations are complete and the most interesting part begins. First of all, I will make a skill point respec. Be prepared that you will need at least 20 Orb of Regrets, but I don't think this is a big problem for most players. Now it's time for the main item, the Mjolner. Oh no! I need 400 strength and 300 intelligence to use it. I'd rather read books and go to the gym instead of doing a whole summer of magic finding. Well, that's okay, I have a little cheat that will solve that problem. Elegant Hubris with Caspiro influence. With this timeless jewel, we get access to supreme ostentation, and now we don't have to worry about any attribute requirements. Hopefully this amount of divine orbs will be enough and I can get the jewel with Caspiro. Now my character can take this big bad hammer. That's it. I can already feel its power. Next, I'm going to need some armor. The ideal choice would be Skin of the Lords with Mind over Matter. But I want to remind you that this is a solo self-found league and finding such an item is unrealistic. So I'm going to use the Covenant. But I need to make 6 links. I have 1800 Orb of Fusing and armor with 30 quality. And for me it is easy benchcraft for 1500 Orb of Fusing. But many people left a comment on my last video that with high quality there is no need to use benchcraft and that it will be the easiest 6 links. So let's give it a try. 1800 Orb of Fusing against armor with 30 quality. Let's see who wins. Honestly, I'm getting a little nervous. There's no way I can't do it. I don't believe it. No way. Okay, where's that dude who wrote that I'm so scared? I think he deserves a ban. What lessons we can learn from this situation? Always use benchcraft, especially on SSF. Don't listen to random dudes in the comments. Quality is a trap. Always have a backup plan. Speaking of which, it's completely coincidental that I already have 6 links like this. Because I always have a backup plan. The Devouring Diadem is another key item for this build, but luckily I only needed to kill 40 Katarina to get this unique helmet. Huge thanks to the genius who decided to reduce the drop chance for this item. Thanks, friend. The original idea for this build used Watcher's Eye with gain 25 energy shield per enemy hit while affected by discipline and gain 25 life per enemy hit while affected by vitality. But as you yourself understand in the realities of SSF, such a Watcher's Eye is not available to me. So let's look for an alternative, namely a ring with Shaper influence. And that means it's time for a crafting session. I'll be using Harvest Craft. I need to find a prefix like this and preferably some resistance or other useful characteristics. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Unfortunately, it's a lot worse than Watcher's Eye with gain life on hit, but there's nothing to be done. It's a solo self-found league. Now I need a ring with Despair on hit. For this, I will use the same crafting method but for a ring with Hunter influence. Nope. I think I can do better than that. Wow, that's a very cool ring. But unfortunately not for my build. I'm running out of juice, so I'll stop here. It's obviously not perfect, but as a temporary solution, it's fine for me. If I'm already doing harvest crafting, let's make a cluster jewel. Wow, that was fast. Almost a perfect cluster. Not bad. As for the shield, the best option for us is the Squire. But it's a very rare item and it's almost impossible to find it on SSF. But I have some ancient orbs, maybe I'll get lucky. No way. All the time, man. All the time lucky. Sometimes I feel like Chris Wilson is actually watching me personally and guiding me to get these moments for my videos. Chris, we love you and believe that Path of Exile 2 will be the best game ever. While you're hurrying to post comments about how lucky I am, I'm going to continue crafting the gear I need. I need boots and a belt. I have 2 of these fractured bases. I will use Essence Craft and see what I end up with and which one I choose. Okay, I'm going to try the other base. I could use this one. Pretty good. Now Benchcraft. And Exalted Slam, although that doesn't make any sense. But why not? The boots are done, now it's just the belt. I need a Stygian Vice and some essences. Let's see what I've got. Nope. Maybe it is. Let's get another belt and see if I can make something better. Probably not. I think this is it. In the end, I decided to stop with this belt and now I need to put some finishing touches on it. Benchcraft Life. And Hunter's Exalted Slam. There are a total of 3 prefixes I can get with Hunter's Exalted Orb and basically all of them are fine for me. T3 Chaos Damage. Unlucky. Later, when I have all the gear, I'll make some changes, but for now I'm done with crafting. These gloves are a mandatory part of my gear because thanks to them our lightning damage can poison. But ideally we need these gloves with corrupted implicit curse enemies with temporal chains on hit. So let's go to the temple. I hope I still have some luck left. Wow, that's pretty good. It's not exactly what we need, but with these gloves we can replace one of our rings. I've got another glove, let's try our luck again. No poof. Not bad. Unfortunately, I don't have any more of these gloves, so my lucky adventures in the temple are coming to an end. Now I need Enlighten level 3 and Empower level 4. And that means it's time for gambling. I'll start with Enlighten. Never lucky man, never. Alright, I'll have to get that gem from my other character. What about Empower? Not bad. But I need another card. Easy. And the cherry on top of the cake. The doctor. Maybe a random headhunter. Nope. Alright, who needs this headhunter? It's been a very long preparation and I hope you're not too tired. Because it's time to put all this gear together and see what I've come up with. Because as I said at the beginning of this video, I don't know what I'm going to get. Now let's talk briefly about how this build works, because I'm sure many of you don't understand what happens on the screen and how we deal damage. First of all, I use a Cyclone, cast on crit and Ball Lightning. So when my Cyclone does a critical hit, I cast Ball Lightning. Also my Mjolnir is casting Ball Lightning when I hit an enemy with a Cyclone. As a result, we can cast Ball Lightning a lot of times in 1 second. As for Ball Lightning, it is a very interesting spell that fires a slow-moving projectile that periodically damages enemies in an area around it with bolts of lightning. Lightning bolts will strike all nearby targets every 150 milliseconds while they are inside the area of effect of the ball. The base projectile speed is roughly 48 units per second. Reductions to projectile speed such as slower projectile support can increase the amount of time an enemy spends within the ball's area of effect, resulting in a higher potential number of lightning strikes per cast. So in this build I scale exactly the speed reduction of my projectiles. In addition, my main damage is poison damage because I use special gloves that allow me to do that. But why poison and not elemental damage? It's very simple, because poison is a broken mechanic in the game that allows you to do a lot of damage with minimal investment. Also, the feature of Ball Lightning is that it hits the enemy very often, and this is very good for poison because there is no limit to the number of poison stacks a target can have. I hope I didn't bore you too much with this explanation, and I also hope you got a basic idea of how this build works. I want to say that the idea of this build is not mine. I just found it and I liked it, and I thought it would make an interesting journey. In the end, I was not mistaken. Playing and gathering it was very cool. This build can handle T16 maps very easily. As for the single target damage, it is quite acceptable. Despite the fact that I played SSF, I managed to put together a very good gear. But unfortunately I had to change some things and ended up not being able to show the full potential of the assassin with cast on crit poison Ball Lightning. And to be honest, when I was already recording the last material for this video, I had a bitter aftertaste and I didn't want to end my journey like this. So I decided to continue it, but already on Trade League, where I will have access to all the items I need. Well, just because I want to show you that this non-meta build is really strong. I hope the die-hard fans of Solo Self-Found League will understand me. So let's pack our bags. We're going to the Dead League. It's been a long time since I've been here. I'm getting used to it. But let's not waste time, and let's go shopping. First of all, let's buy Skin of the Lords. With it we will have a little less damage, but we will greatly increase our survivability, which is exactly what I lack in this build. We have a lot of energy shield, but we only used it to cast our spells. But because our new armor gives us mind over matter, it will protect us from some of the incoming damage. And considering we'll still be using a nice Watcher's Eye with gain energy shield per enemy hit while affected by discipline, we'll be dying a lot less. Next on my shopping list are a few awakened gems. Excuse me. Need a break for some business. Let's continue shopping. It didn't work out. It happens. That's just great. More damage is always a good thing. And of course the new gloves with curse enemies with temporal chains on hit. My precious. Speaking of which, even after all this time Trade League is still alive, which surprised me a bit. I also need Forbidden Flame and Flesh with Born in the Shadow. And I'm going to buy a ring like this. Now I have all the items I need. Change our gear and let's try it out. Wow! You can really feel the difference. Especially the defense. Playing this build is so much better now. Although it's probably very hard for you to see the difference between what was on SSF and the new build from Trade League. But trust me, I have played long enough on both of these builds, and in the game it is immediately noticeable. As for single target damage, it has also increased and you will not have any problems with non-Uber content. Of course you do not destroy everything in nanoseconds, but as for me the damage is quite acceptable. And here I want to confess that to collect this build on SSF was a bizarre decision, although very fun and exciting. Because the Trade League gives too many opportunities for those who like non-meta builds. This build, though, could be a very interesting long-term project for a solo self-found league. Provided you are willing to spend 1 or 2 months on it, because during this time you can collect all the missing parts. I would also like to answer one question that some of my viewers may have. Why Ball Lightning Assassin and not Manabond Hierophant? Because the latter is better. Of course it is. But I wanted an assassin build, and frankly, I don't care if some build is better than mine. This is my journey and my fun. Well, this is the end of my journey. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Also, I will be very grateful for likes, subscriptions, and comments. Bye everyone, and see you in new videos.